would play along, in my room to a lot of the Guns N' Roses records, Appetite, like that first Black Crowes record, Shake Your Money Maker. I remember playing to that. And then like Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff.
Brad's got a new album out right now. No, it's not. Yeah, it's gonna. By the time this comes out, it's gonna be out.
Oh,
When's
cool.
it coming out? Next Friday?
The 19th.
What is that? That's next Friday. Parallel Love. You and I have talked about this before, which is we both came up as guitar players loving Guns N' Roses.
That's right.
Is that why you started playing guitar? Was because you wanted to be like Slash?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
I mean, you remember those magazines like Hit Parader and all this? I literally would like cut like little pictures of them out and like, I think, in the four walls of my bedroom, I think like 3 3/4 were literally covered in cutouts of like Hit Parader and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty obsessed.
Because you wanted to be a musician, or you just like the culture? Or
Well, yeah, everything. Like I definitely, Guns N' Roses was the first one I was like, damn. Like, I mean, I remember even down to like, I'd be like, oh, like I like veins like in his arms and like the way that like when he plays, like, I was very.
How do I get my veins to
Why
pop out?
why don't I have
veins?
Exactly.
What's up with that?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was what you were trying to figure out.
Exactly. And I just remember seeing like that Paradise City video and being like, I want to do that. It looks really fun.
But was that the one? Like, is that because wasn't your first guitar Les Paul, or you found your dad's Yamaha?
My
originally?
Acoustic, which I just literally got back a few days ago. It had, like the binding was coming undone and had a couple little holes in it. So I brought it to Glacier and they fixed it up. So
what'd they do to it? There were holes in the...
Like, I think I spent $1,400
yeah,
like doing everything it needs to be done. And
the
they're like, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, this is the guitar I learned how to play guitar on. So yes, I want to do it.
And now does it play really great?
I think I'm actually going to use it
no way.
next week for the show. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to bring it out on the show?
Like for my own thing. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Wait, so you found this guitar in
the attic?
In the attic? Well, why'd your dad have it? Does he play too?
Yeah,
or?
he played growing up. He actually played in a band. I don't know if I told you this, with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
What?
In high school.
Because you're from Connecticut or that area, right?
Yeah.
So he knew Steven Tyler, or
I'll show you this. Not that it matters for the podcast.
No, but if you send me the image, we could fly it in. Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know it's at the top of these 10,000 pictures, so I can find it really easy. So there's my dad, and there's Steven Tyler right there.
Wait, that's outrageous.
Dressed up like the Beatles.
When he was Steven, what was his name?
Steven Tallarico.
Steven Tallarico, exactly. Yeah. So did he take guitar seriously? Like, is he a good guitar player?
I mean, no. He can play like just some bar chords and stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't really play much. But I actually wrote a song several years ago with Marty Fredrickson, who used to produce some of the, I guess, later Aerosmith stuff.
Yeah.
And I showed him that picture. And he was like, oh my God. He goes, you got to send that to me. So he sent it to Steven. And then like after I left to write, he texted me. He's like, all right, give me your dad's number. And Steven wants to call your dad. So like, I'm like, told my dad like, hey, you're going to be getting a call from a weird number. And so an hour later, he's like, oh my God. He's like, Steven Tyler called me. He's like, we talked for an hour about all these people we used to know and stuff. And he goes, you know who he reminded me of? He said, me. He sounded just like me.
Wait, what do you mean? Steven Tyler? Yeah, Steven sounds just like him.
Because they're like both kids from the Bronx, like.
Yeah. Wait, so you find the guitar in the attic, and then do you start playing? Is this before you were so into Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, well, actually, right around that time. Like, I remember some of the first songs I was trying to learn were like Patience and like Used to Love Her and stuff like that. I remember like my fingers hurting trying to figure out how to play.
But you just felt like, okay, Slash is playing an acoustic guitar, this or at a guitar, this is a guitar. So I guess I'll guess somehow the songs have to be in here. Like, you had no idea how to do this.
No, I taught myself.
You were just, how do you know how you even tune the guitar though? Like,
well, I might have got like, a basic book of like, here's how like the dots, like here's how you make those chords. I don't know. I guess I learned how to tune it. I don't even remember learning how to tune it, but I used to try to learn the songs like on cassettes. Like, I'd be in front of the cassette player, like rewinding it back, rewinding it back, trying to figure out. And then of course I'm learning. I'm like, he's obviously playing. I can't play these songs on the acoustic guitar. Most of them because they're
on a Les Paul, right?
So after I think I showed, you have to show your parents that you're serious. They finally let me get an electric guitar. That's when
you got a Les Paul, right? That was your first guitar because of Slash, right?
Yeah.
Was it what you thought it would be? Because my first good guitar was a Les Paul. I think because of Slash and Jimmy Page. But when I got it, it wasn't really what I thought it was going to be.
Well,
I
got a studio.
You got a studio.
Yeah.
What, in Cherry?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Like the red wine color?
Yeah. Where you see the grain through the guitar. That's everyone's first Les Paul, I feel like.
I was pretty stoked on it though. But yeah, I mean, it's not a.
It kind of is though. Like,
it's not a bad guitar. I mean, I still play a studio on one song in the Old Dominion set that my college roommate sold me for $400 on just a little slide part on Hawaii. That's on Hawaii. I play that on the road.
Why? Because
because it's a guitar that I have
that you have, and you needed a guitar. You needed to insert a guitar into that slot. And
exactly.
You said, we're gonna do the studio.
Yeah.
Is that so? Do you basically just learn endless songs, or you try to learn endless songs? Is that how you figure out how to play guitar?
That's how I did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also went. There was a thing called the National Guitar Summer Workshop. Up like in upstate Connecticut. It was like guitar camp basically.
Yeah.
So I went there for a week, 2 different summers where, you sign up for like blues licks 101 and then like whatever, jazz theory. And like you have a roommate that, you guys are jamming and then every night they'll have like a staff performance and they'll bring in, crazy guitar players and stuff.
Did you strive to, because I feel like your superpower as a guitar is playing a lot of like more rhythmic parts and just nailing them and playing more parts around the vocal. But you're like, I don't think of you as a shredder.
No, I'm not.
Did you aspire to be at any point?
No, that's
like that was never interesting.
When I heard Van Halen, I was just like, first of all, it didn't like capture me like the Allman Brothers, just like the sound of it. But I was also like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that.
That's kind of how I felt.
So I'm like, I'm not even going to try to do that.
Yeah. So what would you spend your time focusing on?
I would play along, in my room to a lot of the Guns N' Roses records, Appetite, some of the, like that first Black Crowes record, Shake Your Money Maker. I remember playing to that. And then like Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff. I had definitely a window where I was into that, and then I got, when I was going to college, I think I was already into Ithaca and I was on the waiting list for James Madison. And I think Ithaca was like $27,000 and James Madison was like 12. And my dad was like, if you go to JMU, I'll buy you a new guitar and a new amp and I'll pay for your spring break. And
Are you serious?
I was like, cool.
Done. You didn't care.
So he somehow got me off the waiting list there and I ended up going there, but he bought me like a nice, like a VHT. That was the first like nice kind of tube amp. Actually, not the first tube amp, but that was a nice amp. And I got a Schecter, like a Strat model, which was actually kind of a nice guitar.
I feel like everyone's playing Schecters now.
But they're not like, I don't know, maybe this one almost looked like a Mark Knopfler looking guitar, like very like bird's eye maple-y. I don't know. Anyway, but I remember being down in the basement, playing Stevie Ray Vaughan loud, and then when it was dinner time, they flick the lights, turn the lights on.
That was my experience too. That's exactly what happened. Because that was the only place I could play was in the basement.
Yeah.
And then they would flick the lights in the room over, but I could see the room, and then I would come upstairs. Or sometimes I just ignore it, pretend I was looking the other way.
Yeah.
But did you think you were going to be a guitar player? Was that, or did you think you were just really into guitar?
Oh no, like I was like, I want to be a rock star.